Order, honorable members. Please. Order. Almighty God, who in thy wisdom and goodness has appointed the offices of rulers and parliament for the welfare of society and just government of men, we beseech thee to behold with thy abundant favor us thy servant whom thou hast been pleased to call for the performance of important tasks in this town. Let thy blessing descend upon us here in this house assembled. Grant us that we may treat and consider all matters that shall come under our deliberation in so just and faithful a manner. To promote thy honor and glory, to advance the peace, prosperity, and welfare of this country, and of those whose interests thou hast committed to our church. Amen.
Motion. Motion.
Correction and approval of record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 25th November 2025.
Motion.
Who is that? Yes.
Honorable Speaker, I want to move a motion on the 53K for Parliament to change the mode of prayers. Because I think it's an old type of prayers and it's not in line with our
Honorable member, please take your
religion
seat.
and our this.
Honorable member, please sit down. Honorable members, order, please. Honorable member, I am not administering your motion. I will not admit it. I will not admit your motion. Order, honorable members, please. No. Member for Jarol, please. No, don't appeal on him. No. Clerk, let's continue.
Correction and approval of record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 25th November 2025.
Honorable members, the record of votes and proceeding of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 25th November 2025 is before us for correction and approval. Can any honorable member please move a motion for the correction and approval of the said record of votes and proceedings? The member for Jara West. Jara West.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 25th of November 2025 be corrected for correction and approval. Be considered for correction and approval. Thank
Any
you.
second, the member for Sanementary.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 25th November 2025 be approved. Any issue or issues, observation from honorable members? Honorable members, we will look at the record with page by page, and of course, beginning with page 1. Any one of you who have any observation can raise his or her hand. Let's begin with page 1. Page 2. Page 3. Page 4. Page 5. Page 5. Page 6. Page 7. Honorable members, page 8. Page 9. Page 10. Page 11. Honorable members, page 12. Here, the member for Jara Central.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On page 12, paragraph 24, questions put that heads 31, Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Welfare. Questions there should be in a singular form, and then heads also should be in a singular form also. Thank you.
Honorable members, on 24, questions put. The honorable member for Jara Central is proposing for the removal of the S and as well as that hates to read hate. The member for Central Badibu, you were requesting the floor. You raise it up. Oh, Sami, member for Sami. Honorable members, any order on page 12? Can we move to page 13? Member for Sami?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. At the last, the resumption of the Assembly, where the clerk read the short title of the 2026 estimate of revenue and expenditure of the Republic of the Gambia. Just in bracket, 1st January to 31st December 2025. It should be 2026, both days included.
Honorable members, are you following? Great. The member for Opanyomi, you have the floor. The member for Same want us to change instead of 2025, it should be 2026. The estimate is for 2026. Member for Opanyomi?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The last paragraph, at the invitation of the Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Minister for Finance. This one, instead they have Honorable Ministry for Finance. It used to be Minister for Finance.
Honorable members, the last paragraph. At the invitation of the Honorable Speaker, the Ministry for Finance and Economic Affairs, Honorable Sidi Keita, is to read the Honorable Minister for Finance and Economic Affairs. Yes, any order on page 13? Yes, the member for Sabah Sanjal.
The one that you just read, there should be a full stop at the end of the sentence.
The end of which sentence? Can you guide us, please? At the end of which sentence? Can you guide us, please?
That you have just read, the last one on page 13.
I'm not getting what you're saying.
Yes, sir. I said there should be a full stop at the end of that statement that you have read. Yes.
Oh, okay. On page 13.
Yes, the last one. The last paragraph there.
Oh, okay. Okay, honorable members, what is saying the paragraph or the sentence? There's no full stop to end. Is that all? No. Okay, page 14. Honorable members, page 14. Yes, Member for Bakau.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. At the tail end, where you have at 19 minutes after 2 o'clock in the morning instead in the night.
Honorable members, 2 a.m. in the night or morning. So what we have is in the night. The member for Bakau is proposing us to change the night to morning in the morning. Are you following?
Yeah.
It has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceeding, yes? Who is?
I just wanted to remind you that there was a previous ruling that was made on this issue that the Honorable Member for Bakau have just highlighted. If we say at 2 a.m., there is no need to add in the morning, because obviously a.m. means in the morning. So it's becoming a repetition, and a previous ruling was made to that effect.
Yes, Honorable Member for Sabah Sanjal, you are reminding the Assembly that there was a ruling in respect of timing, AM or PM, and after the AM or PM, you add noon or morning. But in this instance, there is no AM or PM. It is saying at 9 minutes after 2 o'clock in the night. There is no AM. If it was after 2 a.m., then you may not necessarily need 2 a.m. in the night or in the morning, because what we have is 2 o'clock in the morning. You can also say 2 a.m. Yes, please.
Even though it's not a big issue, but for consistency purpose, since a ruling was made and we have already adopted that, before, I believe we should be able to maintain that for consistency purpose, to just maintain AM and PM.
No, they are not the same, Honorable Member. For instance, if the Assembly resumes at 2 a.m. in the morning, then you say, no, the most ideal word or phrase to use would be 2 a.m. That's it. I had my, member for Talini Kunjang.
I was just saying 2 o'clock a.m. is part of early hours of the morning. So 2 o'clock in the morning
it should be more correct than.
No, no, 9 o'clock.
9. Honorable members, these are the two things. Honorable members, we had the proposal from Sabasanjal, but it looks like he's alone. Can you use your mic?
Yeah, you see, this confusion has been here for a long time. People will be saying in the morning, at night. So that was why you made a previous ruling that let's just maintain either AM or PM.
No,
So
but
if the parliament wants to go against their previous decision, then well and good.
no, the contexts are not the same. No, they are not the same. Honorable members, it has been moved and seconded that the record of votes and proceedings of the National Assembly sitting of Tuesday, 25th November 2025 be approved with amendment. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. Clerk. Honorable members, we want to thank the Vice President and welcome his here with Honorable Ministers of Land and that of Basic Education. Clerk, you may proceed.
Thank you. Questions for oral answers.
Honorable members, as per order paper and order 41.1 of the standing orders, today is questions for oral answers. Furthermore, as a reminder, clause 43 of the standing orders limited supplementary questions to 7 in total. 2 for the honorable member asking the question and 5 among other members. Therefore, we will proceed with His Excellency, the Vice President, and the honorable ministers scheduled today to give their oral answers. Thank you, Clerk. We may proceed.
Thank you. Questions for oral answers. His Excellency, the Vice President.
Thank you, honorable members. On your behalf, I want to welcome His Excellency, the Vice President, Mr. Mohamed B.S. Jallow. Mr. Vice President, you may take the podium. Questions for which due notices were given to His Excellency, the Vice President, by honorable members for oral reply. Question number, that's the September questions. Question number 215 of 2025 by the member for Fonyi Karania. Fonyi Bintang Karanai.
Thank you. Next time that should be noted well. Honorable Speaker, could His Excellency the Vice President inform this August Assembly at what stage is the government on its promise to create 150,000 jobs for the youth of this country?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that significant progress has been registered in the implementation of the National Employment Policy and Action Plan of 2022 and 2026. However, the employment tracking mechanism to be established is yet to be in place, and therefore, the actual number of jobs created cannot be ascertained.
Your Excellency the Vice President, so how do you intend to ascertain this number? Because the question is so clear. At what stage?
Honorable Speaker, I recall this question was asked of me previously, and my response was that the Minister of Trade had informed me that they are going to put up this system, but as we speak, they have not yet done it.
So when can we expect to have the question that we are asking, or when do we expect to have the Ministry of Trade to actually give you the data that you are expecting so that you can furnish this August Assembly with it.
Honorable Speaker, as soon as the Minister of Trade, because they had informed me that they are getting some technical support to do that. I don't know at what stage that technical support is at this point, but I guess the moment they have that, they will be in a position to give us these numbers.
We will appreciate to know whether you have zero.
Order, honorable members, order. Member for Fonye Bintang Karana, you cannot do that. Don't do that, please. No, don't do that. Order, honorable members, order, please. Your Excellency, are you done? Your Excellency, Mr. Vice President, are you done? The member for Kiang West, you have the floor.
Your Excellency, are you telling this August Assembly that this government does not have the actual employment you have created for the citizen of this country?
Honorable Speaker, what I'm saying is that the role of government is to create the enabling environment for the private sector to create jobs. Government can provide only a few jobs, but it's the environment that you create for the private sector to create the jobs. But the Minister of Trade, the Minister responsible for employment, normally they will have a tracking system to see how many jobs are created over time. This is what I'm reporting, that they are working with partners to create that, but at this point, it's not ready.
Member for Central Body, we have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, would it be prudent to make a follow-up on the ministry and its related institutions so that we have a data on the youth employment?
Honorable Speaker, I agree entirely with the honorable member for that question. Really, you are right. We are still pushing with the ministry to make sure that we get those figures, because it is also important for the government. Because we know that even some of our own interventions are creating jobs, but we cannot say at this point how much we are creating. Thank you.
Member for Busumbala, you have the floor.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, you did make mention of the data to be provided by Minister of Trade. When last did you have conversation with the Minister of Trade in regarding this matter?
Honorable Speaker, as you know, the moment I receive this question, I get in contact with the minister responsible. And that was the last time I had that. And the answers they provided with me still indicates that they are not done as far as this is concerned. It is our concern for us also, like I just said. We also want the figures for our own planning. Thank you.
The member for Talinding, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, can you confirm to this August Assembly if this promise of 150,000 jobs is based on concrete assessment in terms of sectors they are going to create in? And which are these sectors?
Honorable Speaker, even I don't want to say something that beyond, but really, even creating 150,000 jobs is something of a low scale. All right, even if you are able to monitor, you realize that by now we would have even created more than the 150,000. The challenge is just the monitoring aspect of it. But even if you look at the road construction, how many jobs have been created through that? How many businesses have come in over this period? How many jobs have created? The tourist industry, how many jobs are created? These are all, if you are able to count that, you realize that even the 150,000 is on the low end. Thank you.
Member for Sane Mentoring, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, could you inform this August Assembly what stops the institution that were the Minister of Trade that were supposed to collect data? What stops them from collecting that data? Do you know the challenges? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, like I said earlier on, they are relying on partners to develop the system with them. And I think that is the support that is not yet materialized at this point, as far as I understand. Thank you.
Question number 216 of 2025 by the member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the recent outcry of young people against the government's stand on corruption is gaining momentum. Could His Excellency, the Vice President, inform this August Assembly as to what legal steps the executive is taking to ensure accountability and probity?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that the government of the Gambia has taken a firm stance against corruption. To this end, it has undertaken a number of legal measures, including prosecuting public officials. The government commends the prosecution of public officials alleged to have engaged in corruption, demonstrating its commitment to ensuring accountability. 2, passing of Anti-Corruption Act. The timely passing of an Anti-Corruption Act 2023, which prescribes punishment for corrupt practices and other related offenses. Currently, the government is finalizing recruitment of members of the Anti-Corruption Commission, and the names, I think, have already been submitted, hopefully, to this Assembly for approval. Public Finance Act. The Public Finance Act is currently under review, and a new management bill has been drafted and submitted to Cabinet for approval. This bill aims to modernize public finance management system, making them more robust, effective, and accountable. And the Public Procurement Act, in 2022, government enacted the new Public Procurement Act to provide comprehensive legal framework for transparent, efficient, and accountable public procurement processes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, according to what I understand from your response, it's only 2 persons that are going through prosecution. And we are made to understand that corruption is rampant in the system. According to the audit report, according to the petroleum saga, out of these officials, only 2 going through prosecution. How ready is this government to fight this corruption?
Honestly, I don't think I have mentioned 2. I didn't say 2 people.
No, honorable members, please order. I am not sure if His Excellency the Vice President has indicated that 2 people. He have never mentioned that. Yeah, honorable member, all the honorable members, I'm not sure if the Vice President want to answer that one or not.
Mr. Speaker,
No.
if I just repeat my question, if I repeat my answer, I said the government commends the prosecution of public officials alleged to have engaged in corruption, demonstrating its commitment in ensuring accountability. That was my response.
You have one more?
Out of these public officials that are going through the prosecution, can we specify number of these public officials going through this prosecution?
Honorable Speaker, at this point, I cannot specify the exact number, but there are many cases that are currently in the court.
Member for Latikunda Stabaji, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President, you did mention that you have finalized the selection process of the anti-corruption commissioners. Can you tell the National Assembly how was this selection process conducted?
What, can you repeat your question, honorable member for?
My question is premised on what the Honorable Vice President said before the National Assembly. He said the government is finalizing the selection process of the anti-corruption commissioners. That's what this Vice President said, if I should quote him verbatim. Now we want to know how was this selection process conducted? That's my question.
That's a point of order from Oponyomi.
Honorable Speaker, supplementary question may be put for the purpose of elucidating an oral answer. That's Order 43.1 and Order 43.4. A supplementary question not be in order if it introduces matters not included in the original question. The question is actually it's not included in the original question. So I think it's a new thing. Maybe that one is substantive. Whenever member can make a parliamentary question on that. Thank you.
Honorable members, order, order sustained. His question is out of order. The member for Busumbala, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, in your response, you did indicate several cases regarding corruption that are at the High Court. Can you be a help to this August Assembly and provide the list of public officials that are undergoing this trial? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, like I said earlier on, I cannot at this point provide the exact number.
Put into consideration before these appointments.
There is a point of order from Opanyomi.
Honorable Speaker, the honorable order 43.3, order 43.4.
Honorable member, please. Honorable members, honorable members, please order. Honorable members, let's listen to the answers that are to be provided by His Excellency the Vice President, and as well as questions from members. You ask a question and there's a point of order. Let's hear him, please.
Honorable Speaker, order 43.4, supplementary questions. A supplementary question shall not be in order if it introduces matters not included in the original question and the answer provided. The honorable member, the question he asked and the answer provided by His Excellency the Vice President is totally inconsistent with the new question I just asked. So it's something very substantive. It's better you do a new parliamentary question on that. Thank you.
That is honorable.
Honorable member for Latikunda Sabeji, you cannot behave like that. Honorable members, we have the point of order from the member for Opanyomi. I cannot agree more with him. Order sustained. You have one.
No, this not stand here, please.
Take your seat, please. Take your seat. Take your seat, please. Sit down. Allow me to. Honorable members, order sustained, and that question is out of order. You have one more question, please. Member for Latikunda Sabi.
Honorable Vice President, you mentioned quite a lot of presidential advisors, and in my opinion, most of those role responsibilities description align to specific ministries. Now, with matters of specific advice, does the president listen to his advisors or to the ministers?
Honorable, can you repeat it again?
Let me lay my question bare minimum.
There's a point of order from Opanyomi.
Order 38, admissibility of questions. G, a question shall not be asked for the purpose of obtaining an expression of opinion. Honorable member is asking the opinion of His Excellency the Vice President, and it's completely out of order.
Honorable members, order. The honorable member for order, honorable members. The honorable member for Latikuna is requesting Vice President opinion on whether the president listen to the advisors or the ministers. And the point of order raised by the member for Konyomi, he is saying that's an opinion, seeking the opinion of His Excellency Vice President. No, you cannot reframe it. Order, honorable members, order. Honorable members, as it stands, even the member himself knew that he's out of order. So order sustained. Your question is
I
out
did
of
not
order.
ask.
Honorable members, order, please. Order. Latikuna, please take your seat. Honorable members, Latikuna, you said in your own opinion. It's a statement. It's your opinion, not a question. It's out of order. Member for Fonyi Bintan Karana, you have the floor.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, if I can see the question well, the question said a detailed description. And according to the minister's reply, he gave their roles and their names, but the detailed description, that is not given. So we are waiting for the detailed description.
Question number, sorry, the member for Bakau, you have the
Honorable,
floor.
what? Honorable, you cannot do that. No.
Huh?
If you have to rule.
Order, honorable members. Honorable member, you have not asked a question.
I asked a question, honorable.
Okay, it is ruled out. Member for Bakau, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, the positions of advisors to the presidents, we all know is very sensitive. What are the criteria used to appoint these advisors?
Honorable Speaker, I think it's the prerogative of His Excellency the President to appoint his advisors. It is that he feels fit.
The member for Banjul North, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and thank you very much, Your Excellency, the Vice President. Looking at the original question, it's talking about the list. The Vice President, the list the names of all the current presidential advisors. That's what the original question said. And I just want clarity on that, because if I can hear you well, you mentioned the late Badembo Boja. May his soul rest in perfect peace. What made you to come up with that decision to include him as part of your list?
Honorable Speaker, I think this assembly will recall that these questions were asked a long time ago, the third session, and I was not able I was not available at that time. So there is this time lag.
That is why at initio I indicated that they were the September questions. The member for Lower Badibu, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, my question has been asked by Honorable Bakau, and it has been answered. Thank you.
Thank you. Member for Kiang West, you have the floor.
Your Excellency, you've mentioned certain names, and some of the advisors are attached to particular sectors. May I ask, what is the role of the sector ministers in terms of advice
to the president with respect to issues pertaining to those sectors.
It's a new element.
There is a point of order from the member for Opanyomi.
Again, for supplementary question shall not be in order if it introduces matters not included in the original questions and not included in the answer provided. So it's a new element to me. So it's better we disqualify the question.
Honorable members, can I ask you for a second time, please kindly repeat your question. Order, honorable members, please.
Honorable Speaker, my question was, Your Excellency, some of the advisors to the president you've mentioned are attached to certain sectors. You've talked about youth matters. You've also talked about National Assembly and religious affairs. But my question is, what is the role of the sector ministers in terms of advice to the president with respect to issues affecting those various sectors? That was my question.
Honorable members, order, order, honorable members. Lower Salum, you cannot be the policeman of this. Please, order, honorable members. The parent question is about advisors. Order, honorable members. Order. The parent question is advisors. List their names and specific role and responsibilities to this August Assembly. And the answer also was on the advisors. Now the member for Kiang West is now asking the role of the ministers toward the president. And the member for Opanyomi is saying that is out of order. The question is about the advisors to the president. And his supplementary question is advice as the minister's role. So they are not the same. Yeah. They are not the same. They are not the same. Order sustained. Question number 218 of 2025 by the member for Latrikunda Sabi.
Thank you very much. Honorable Vice President, recently there was a widespread protest in the country led by a youth movement called Gala, who have demanded certain things from the government to be addressed on the specific timelines.
Honorable members, that is not the question I read. The question number I read is 218 of 2025.
Which one? Go get out. I'm not used. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President, update this assembly on the maintenance works at the State House and how the contracts were awarded.
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that the name of the maintenance work project is the rehabilitation, completion of existing structures, and construction of a multipurpose sports facility at State House. The project is executed through the delegated management contract with GAMWorks. The status of the project implementation is as follows. Maintenance office, completed and handed over. Vehicle control building, completed and handed over. The food store, completed and handed over. The multipurpose sport facility is in progress, that is at 61% at this stage. The external works completed and handed over. The offices occupied by economic commander and team, completed and handed over. The guard post 1, completed and handed over. State Guard Battalion building in progress, that is 40%. The security post completed and handed over. Soft and hard landscaping completed and handed over. The 2 boreholes completed and handed over, and the clinic completed and handed over.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice President. This specific contract, was it open tender or restricted tender?
Honorable Speaker, like I said, this is a delegated management contract that is through GAMWorks. So it is GAMWorks that selects the contractor.
Thank you very much. Do you have an independent consultant supervising the works, or the works are supervised by the Ministry of Works and Infrastructure? Can you guys keep quiet? Who told you that if a contract is awarded?
Honorable Speaker.
Of order. Point of order.
Point of order, Honorable
Point of
Speaker.
order, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, point.
Member for Lower Salon, Latikunda Sabiji, and others. I told you, please maintain decorum and allow members to express themselves. If you want to whether agree or disagree, you know what is permissible interruption. It's at a point of order. If the person is debating, you want to observe, you know how to use your mic. You are not allowed to use your mic without the leave of the speaker. Don't do that. This is for the Bantaba. Even in any truth is not behaving like this. There's a point of order from nominated member Faduke Jawara.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I'm rising on order 29-4. It shall be out of order to use offensive and insult language about members of this honorable august body. Honorable Speaker, initially, when Chief Whip put honorable member for Latrikunda to order, he said that the Chief Whip is lying. Now that somebody also put him into order, and he said that members should sort up if they don't understand the proceeding of contracts. Can you please put him to order?
You make rule, another point of. You cannot do that. You can't use a mic. Honorable members, order. Honorable member for Latikunda Sabiji. Let me ask you a question.
Ask me a lot of questions.
Honestly, I didn't hear those remarks that he's alleged to have said, of course, by nominated member Faduke Jawara. So now, I want to ask you, member for Latikunda, have you said that?
Honorable Speaker, anything that is not said in mic as far as this proceeding is concerned is not part of our records.
Honorable members, order. So that being said, honorable members, I take it that he have never said that, or even if he had, he have retracted. So, honorable members, let's be civil in our in our conversation and use parliamentary languages. Please. There's a point of order from who?
Foni Bintang.
Oh yeah, Foni Bintang Karana, yes.
I just want to say that. Honorable Speaker, I am writing on point of order 17F. While a member is speaking, all members shall be silenced and shall not make unseemly interruption. While the member of Latrikunda is raising his question, this Tumanna, member for Tumanna and the crew, all of them were interrupting constantly and answering on behalf of the Vice President before the Vice President will say anything.
Order, honorable members, order. Majority Leader, member for Kantora, please take your seat. Order, honorable members. Honorable members, you know, really, there is the real description of the member for Latrikunda Sabaji himself. But your order is sustained. Members must maintain decorum and allow other members to express themselves. And I hope he will use your benevolence coming to his aid for him also when members are on the floor. He should also behave like that. You request.
Honorable Speaker.
You see?
Point of
Sit down,
order.
take your seat. All right. No. All right, sit down, please. No, you were. No, you were. Please sit down. Okay, sit down. They are not my people. No, they are your colleague. They are not my. Please, honorable members. Yes, Opanyomi, you have a point of order.
No, honorable member for Latrikunda Sabaji is a Koringo. He's a Koringo. I don't expect him to retract what you have just said in the assembly. I say you are a Koringo. You should not retract. You should not withdraw.
Are you raising a point of order? If not, sit down.
The member for Bakau, you have the floor.
Very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, the multi-purpose sports center or facility that is being under construction at the State House, will it not be ideal to have that center in Bakau rather than the State House?
Honorable Speaker, the multipurpose sports facility is for the state guards.
Thank you. Question number 219 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabaji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President, recently there was a widespread protest in the country led by a youth movement called Gala, who have demanded certain things from the government to be addressed on the specific timeline. Could His Excellency the Vice President kindly inform this August Assembly how is the government acting on those demands?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that on the 29th September 2025, the government had a press briefing to respond to the petition received. The press briefing took a form of an open dialogue with the petitioner and the media. Thus, government informed the public of how it is addressing these demands raised. Number one, the parliamentary inquiry report recommendation on the importation and sale of petroleum products valued at $30 million. The government, through the Ministry of Petroleum and Energy, has restored the sole regulatory authority for overland petroleum imports to PURA since 4th July 2025, restoring regulatory coherence and institutional integrity. The corrective action reflects the commitment of both Ministry of Petroleum and Energy and PURA in upholding regulatory best practices. Additionally, the central bank has sanctioned 2 commercial banks following prompt inspection by the Financial Intelligence Unit and is conducting a special audit of foreign currency transactions and sub-accounts managed by third parties to ensure that no such arrangements exist in the banking sector for the petrol penetration of illicit activities. Furthermore, GRA also issued best judgment assessment to the two non-compliant petroleum companies, that is Creed Energy and Ultimate Beige Limited, in the sums of $8,576,706 butts and $12,296,923.81 butts respectively, and instituted a recovery process to ensure they comply with their tax obligations. Finally, government have accepted the recommendation for further investigations and referred to relevant authorities for follow-up action. 2, on the general update on the progress of audited cases involving corruption and fraud. The government is prosecuting about 13 cases in different courts, and these cases include State versus Balakande and 2 others from the Ministry of Health, State versus Amisar and 5 others from Social Security and Housing Finance Corporation, State versus Usman Bahum and 4 others from Gambia Immigration Department, State versus Abasanyang and 1 former governor of Central River Region, State versus Yusuf Cham and 2 others for the Ministry of Justice. Please note that other cases are sent back to the police for further investigation. Others are handled by the Public Service Commission and Personnel Management Office for disciplinary and investigation and action. 3, implementation of the acute kidney failure and panel investigation report. Through the Ministry of Health, government is established the National Medicine Control Lab, which is nearing completion, and the necessary equipment and are procured. Moreover, the MCA has blacklisted made-in pharmaceuticals and banned all its products in the Gambian market. Also, government is working with Indian authorities to file a case against the Indian pharmacy firm that exported the killer syrup to the Gambia. Currently, the Medicine and Related Products Act 2014 is under review to ensure MCA operates as an autonomous entity. Finally, the AKI case is in court, and court rulings will determine government further action regarding justice, compensation, and healing for victims and families.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice President. So now it is clear to the entire Gambia, by extension the whole world, that without the Gala youths, government was never going to investigate crime and corruption. Thank you very much.
You. Member for Kiang West, you have the floor.
Your Excellency, in your response with respect to the...
Point of order, Honorable Speaker.
There is a point of order from nominated member Fatou K. Jawara. Can we hear that point of order, ma?
Honorable Speaker, going through the answer provided by the Vice President, I'm rising on order 29-2. The answer provided by the Vice President clearly spelled out that some of these issues are before a court. And section 29.2 of the standing order stated that reference shall not be made to any matter in respect of which legal proceedings are active in such a way as might, in the opinion of the Speaker or Chairperson, prejudice the interests of parties thereto. Honorable Speaker, I believe some of these matters are before the court and some are before the commission. I think this question should even be struck out.
Honorable members, yes, she's right, and this question was asked for the Vice President to furnish this assembly on how the government is acting on those demands, and he provided answers indicating that most of the cases are before the court of law. And in accordance with the law, we are barred from discussing matters that are before the court. with view that we may not preempt or we may not help or we may not jeopardize with those cases, and that is the spirit of the law. So in the circumstances, I will upheld her order and order sustained. And I think in the interest and the spirit of that law, we should be able to leave it at that and then move to the next question. So we move to the next question.
Honorable Speaker, please.
Yeah, no, please, please.
But not all the matters he mentioned are before the court.
No,
There
that's
are
why I
numerous
said-
issues, Vice.
Please, please don't use your mind. That's why I said most of the cases that he mentioned are before the court. No, there was a no, I cannot rule. I cannot rule on anticipation. No, I cannot rule on anticipation. I cannot rule on anticipation. The future, I don't know what will happen. I don't know what question you are coming up. But now what I can rule, no.
Speaker, I think.
You see, you see,
Point of order.
you see, member for Latikuna Sabi, you are out of order. Just few minutes back, when the member for Fonibindan came to aid, and I said that best describes you, you denied, but you see, you are behaving like that. You are right. I cannot rule on things that have not been said, on the unknown, non-existent, non-living. So he want me to rule on non-living because he's yet to ask his question. He want me to wait until he asks his question. No, the order is on what the Vice President said, and that most of those cases are before the court of law. So I've ruled that we leave it at that and then move to the next question. Question number 220 of 2025 by the member for Latikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President, every citizen of this country is entitled to a state land, especially the President of the Republic. Could His Excellency, the Vice President, update this August Assembly on how many state lands have been allocated to the President and their lease numbers?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that from records, His Excellency the President has been allocated only one piece of land.
Thank you very much. Fair enough. Where is this particular piece of land?
Honorable Speaker, I don't have those details from the Minister of Lands. Maybe I would suggest that probably we direct on specific questions to the Minister of Lands.
The question is not also fully answered. I mean lands and their lease numbers. You only say one land. You cannot even name the land and the lease number, please.
Honorable Speaker, like I said, I didn't have those details from the Minister of Lands. So I would recommend that a specific question be directed to the Minister of Lands. Thank you.
Member for Busumbala, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable, Your Excellency, are you aware that the President is developing a disputed land currently? The land that belongs to the Minister of Justice.
Honorable members, order. Honorable members, order. That question is out of order. You're seeking the opinion of the Vice President on matters that are not substantiated. No, you want to seek his opinion on matters that are not even substantiated.
My question. Let me reframe it.
Go ahead, go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, you did indicate that, of course, the President was indeed allocated a plot of land. Was this plot of land under construction?
I didn't
Point
hear
of
that.
order.
I didn't hear that.
Point of order.
No, I didn't hear that. I can't hear that.
My question is, it has been
Sorry.
affirmed.
Sorry, please. Honorable members and members of the gallery. Please, members, order. Honorable members and members of the order, please. And members of the gallery. Protocol division, you better stop disturbing. And phony, what? And orders, please, stop murmuring. I can't even hear what he's saying. Yeah, can you please repeat that question? Can you repeat your question, please, sir?
Yes, my question is, it has been affirmed or confirmed by Your Excellency, the Vice President, that the President was indeed allocated a plot of land. I'm asking whether that plot of land is under construction.
Point of order.
There is a point of order from the member for Sabasanja.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm rising on order 43-4. A supplementary question shall not be in order if it introduces matters not included in the original question. The honorable member is asking whether the said plot of land is under construction, and that was not in the original question and the answers provided by the Vice President.
No, you are out of order. Order not sustained. Yes, Your Excellency, Vice President, can you provide an answer?
Honorable Speaker, I'm not aware.
The member for Bakau, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker,
There is a point of order.
We are entertaining this question under the office of the Vice President. But if you look at the question in its entirety, it is actually a question that should be directed to the Ministry of Local Government.
Honorable member, please take
Yes.
your seat. No. Take your seat. No. Order, honorable members, order. Order. Honorable members for Busumbala, Latikunda Sabiji. You cannot behave, member for Latikunda Sabiji. You cannot do. This is not a Pantaba. No, you people are not the speaker. Allow me to run, please. Honorable members, order, please. Order. Honorable member for Pakawa, please go ahead and ask your question.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, you've indicated that the President is allocated one land. The location is not yet known to us. In writings, we would want to know exactly where this land is being allocated to the President.
You are not audible. Can you repeat your question? I'm not sure what's wrong with the mic.
I'm saying we are made to understand that the President is being allocated a state land. The location is yet to be known to the Parliament. We want to know from the Honorable, Your Excellency, in writings, where exactly that land is.
Oh, that question was asked and answered, and he told us he doesn't know. No. He told you he doesn't know. You want to ask the same question again, the same session, the same period.
Honorable Speaker.
No.
Honorable Speaker, point of order.
No. That question is out of order. Yes, there is a point of order from the member for Opanyomi.
Honorable Speaker, honorable member for Sabaksenga, the point of order he raised.
Honorable member, take your seat.
He was on order.
Sit down.
He was on order.
Honorable member, you are a senior member. Don't behave like that. Take your seat. Nominated member.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable, don't use your mic. Please, don't do that.
You are forcing me to do so.
Don't do that, please.
And orders those.
Honorable member, don't do that. Nominated member Fatuke Jawara, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the question is every citizen is entitled to one state land. Can the Honorable Vice President explain to this August Assembly whether at once an elderly statesman has acquired a land from himself, his in-law, his daughter? If that is so, please tell us where. My mic is. Honorable Vice President, can you please inform this August Assembly whether one time an elderly statesman acquired a land through him, his wife, daughter-in-law, and his daughter? Please.
Point of order.
Order, honorable members, order.
Point of order. Point of order.
Honorable members, order, please.
Point of order.
I'll come to you, Sabah Sanjal. Honorable Honorable members, order, please. Sergeant at arms. Sergeant at arms. You're on your mobile. You have to drop your mobile in the office when you are coming here. I'm calling you on your mobile. You cannot even hear. You have to leave your mobile in your office. Help me with Latikunda. Let him maintain silence. Tell him to calm down. Honorable members, order, please. Basse. Honorable members, please. Nominated member Fatou K. Jawara. I will not be able to admit that question. Member for Sabah Sanjal, you're on point of order.
Honorable Speaker, can I reframe the question? If it is not admissible, let me reframe it, because it's all about land allocation.
Member for Dankunku, Nyamina, you have the floor.
Honorable Speaker, the question, supplementary question raised by the nominated member, you have ruled it out. No, excuse me.
Nyamina for Dankunku.
You have to listen. Honorable
member.
You have to listen.
Honorable, take your seat. Take your seat.
Speaker, you should allow him to land so that you can know where he's saying.
Honorable members, order, please. Honorable members, maintain decorum. Honorable members, we are not making rules to please individual members. And the honorable member for Nyamina Dankunku cannot rely on supplementary question to ask his question. And we order, please, order. No, don't use your mic. Don't use your mic, please. You are a senior member. We were together in parliament here for a while, you know. When speaker make ruling, you cannot challenge the ruling. You cannot do that. And you are senior members. You cannot do that. Now, Honorable Member Nyamina Dankunku, I gave you the floor to ask a supplementary question. Because you raise your tag and you are recorded as those who wanting to ask supplementary question. And you cannot make a statement. If you have a supplementary question, you should ask, but not to make a statement and to justify or to try to throw the speaker's ruling into the garbage. You cannot do that. If you have a supplementary question, please go ahead, sir. Because the ruling I made on nominated member Fatou K. Jawara, let me just address it. The question was about the president acquiring a piece of land, whether he has acquired how many pieces of land he was allocated to. And His Excellency the Vice President told us that the president only got allocated one piece of land. And subsequently, supplementary questions ensued. Nominated member Fatuke Jawara now is putting up a substantive question, asking an elderly statesman, and that person in fact is not named, a pregnant question. We don't have midwives here to help us deliver it. That is not possible. We don't have that. And then even if he has named a person, for instance, if she has said, the member for Nyamina Dankungu, for instance, then the questions would not be admitted because it's a substantive question. The question on the floor is the person of the President of the Republic. And the Vice President is here to answer on his behalf. So that being the case, that question cannot be admitted. No, you know, she has the right to send in a question.
Point of order.
She has a right to send in her question to the Minister of Land to ask any question she wants, or to the Vice President. Question for now, November questions 2025. Question number 288 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Latikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President, it is very disturbing to hear the news of the American Embassy's refusal to grant visa to some senior government officials intended to travel to United Nations function. Could His Excellency the Vice President inform this August Assembly the reason for such refusal?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that foreign embassies are not obliged to advance reasons for visa refusals.
Thank you very much, Honorable Vice President. One of the reasons, how will you react to one of the reasons that the government of the Gambia do traffic their skills?
Honorable members, please. You can't do that. No, that's wrong. The Vice President told you they don't advance reasons. They are not obliged to advance reasons. He doesn't have reasons. And now you are telling him, what do you say to reasons?
Point of order.
Which you cannot substantiate.
Point of order, Honorable
There is a point
Speaker.
of order from Fonyi Bintan Karanai.
Honorable Speaker, I am rising on point of order 36.7. Yes, 36.7. A question must be answered as clear and as fully as possible. The question that the member for Latrikunda raised is not fully answered, and he is trying to put up his question, and you are interjecting. Honorable Speaker.
Thank you. The member for Fonyi Bintan Karanai, you are out of order. Supplementary questions and substantive questions have nothing to do with what you are talking about. He asked a question and the Vice President answered. The answers to oral question is subjective. So the one giving the answer might find it to be fully answered and of course accurate. You might the same, while A and Z see it differently. So that question is answered. You have one more supplementary question. Thank you. Member for Fonyi Bintan Karanai, you have the floor.
Honorable Vice President, is it that there is any conduct that was expected of your officials for the approval of the visa that they did not live up to?
What?
Was there any standard conduct that was expected of the members or the officials that were applying for the visa, which they did not actually live up to?
Honorable Your Excellency, please allow.
Honorable Speaker, like I said, the embassies, they don't give reasons in cases where they reject visa applications.
Member for Busumbala, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President, we want to know whether there is this strong bilateral diplomatic relationship between Gambia government and that of United States. And when these visa refusals were done, did you deploy such diplomatic ties to question or to inquire from the American embassy as to why our state senior officials who were about to go and attend very important function on behalf of this country were denied visa?
Honorable Speaker, I can confirm that the Gambia government and the government of the United States of America have very strong bilateral relations. But like I said earlier on, Honorable Speaker, if visas were rejected, the American embassy, they are not obliged to give us reasons why they reject any visa application.
Member for Sabah Sanjal, you have the floor.
I withdraw.
Thank you very much. Member for Lower Badibu, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency Vice President, does the refusal of visa to some of our senior officers to attend the United Nations General Assembly, does it have any impact on the general performance of the delegates who happen to make it there? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, in fact, I am not officially aware of a rejection of our officers.
Member for Kiang West, you have the floor.
Honorable Speaker, he has done justice to my question. I wanted to ask if this allegation is even true, and who are they, and how many? So he said he is not aware. So I'm done.
Question number 289 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Latikunda Sabi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Vice President, could we explain to this August Assembly of all the serving ministers who earlier held dual nationalism and denounced it before their appointment and evidence of such denouncement?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that currently there is no serving minister who had dual nationality at the time of his or her appointment as state minister.
Honorable Vice President, the Minister for Information Communication, Ismail Assise, has dual citizenship. So you are now indicting him.
Honorable Member, you know you're out of order. No, you are out of order. He doesn't know. Ask your own question. No, you are here to ask a question, but not to furnish Vice President information. No, you cannot help him. You are not here to help him. He doesn't need your help. Did he ask you to help him? He did not ask you to help him. No, he doesn't want you to help him, please. You can help the member for Busumbala or... Question number 290 of 2025 by the member for Latikunda Sabi.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could His Excellency the Vice President explain to this National Assembly the different roles and responsibilities between the Office of the Chief of Staff and the Secretary General and Head of Civil Service?
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that the Chief of Staff is responsible for the management of the President's program and household, while the Secretary to Cabinet and Head of Civil Service is responsible for matters regarding the civil service in terms of staff and program implementation.
Honorable Vice President, if the Chief of Staff sole responsibility is staff under the office of the president. Are you now telling these national assemblies those under the office of the president are not civil servants? Oh, I did not get your question. Can you please, please repeat your question?
Honorable Speaker. Yes, I'll oblige. I said the Chief of Staff is responsible for the management of the President's program and the household.
I have no supplement to Honorable Speaker.
Member for Fonyi Bintankarana, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, the Vice President, do you have any plan to combine the two responsibilities to one individual who will be the Secretary General, head of the civil servant?
Honorable Speaker, that is the prerogative of His Excellency the President.
Member for Kiang West, you have the floor.
Your Excellency the Vice President, you've clearly spelled out the role of the Chief of Staff, the President's programs, and the household affairs. However, has at any point in time, the Chief of Staff recommends either for the dismissal or for the appointment of either a local chief or a senior government official in this country to the President, and it was executed?
Honorable Member, no, that question is not admissible. You are out of order. Busumbala, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, we are talking about the Chief of Staff, who is responsible, according to you inter earlier, that the household and the presidential affairs. What brought about this dual function, like Minister of Presidents and Chief of Staff? Why do you add an additional portfolio, ministerial capacity to his status as Chief of Staff?
Honorable Member, if you want him to answer to why the Minister of the Presidency, you can please send a substantive question. Question number 219 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Sanementre.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Could His Excellency, the Vice President, inform this August Assembly as to why there is no appointment made for the position of Minister of Trade, Integration and Employment, considering the pivotal role that the minister plays in our country's microeconomic development? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that ministerial appointments are the prerogative of His Excellency, the President of the Republic.
Member for Fonyi Bintankarana.
No supplementary.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, we invited the Vice President to answer on behalf of the President. And we expect him to have a good background knowledge of, and President also must furnish him with certain answers. So, don't you have, at any point in time, where you have written to the President to ask him this question? Because this is the main reason as to why we wrote the questions to your office.
The member for the member for Busumbala, you have the floor.
Honorable Vice President, you did indicate that it's the President's prerogative to appoint ministers. Is there any law that stipulates a time frame as to when the President should fill the vacancy of a ministerial position?
I'm not aware of any law that gives a time frame for the appointment of for the filling of vacant positions.
The member for Kiang West, you have the floor.
Your Excellency, is the President considering filling this position, as we are aware that the Minister for Defense oversees this previous ministry he was handling before? Is the President working on appointing the minister to focus on only the trade ministry?
Honorable Speaker, as far as I'm aware, the President is considering filling that position.
Question number 292 of 2025. Oh, sorry about that. The member for Simon, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Your Excellency, in your response, you indicated that in appointing the ministers, it is the responsibility of the President. But I want to ask, before the appointment, didn't you discuss this at cabinet level?
Honorable Speaker, like I said, the appointment of a ministerial position is the sole responsibility of His Excellency the President. He is not obliged. It is not something that comes to cabinet. If he wants individually, he can ask people's opinion, whoever he wants to ask. All right? But these are issues that don't come to cabinet. That's why I say it's his sole responsibility. He can decide to appoint. He may decide to say, in fact, I'm going to scrap that position. But just in response to the question from Kiang, member for Kiang West, I'm aware that he's actually preparing to fill that position.
Question number 292 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Sanementre.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Could His Excellency, the Vice President, inform this August Assembly how many households have so far been supported by the National Disaster Management Agency due to disasters since the inception of the rainfall in 2025, and what were the areas of support given to the flood victims? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I wish to inform this August Assembly that the National Disaster Management Agency, in collaboration with the World Food Programme, is currently providing 3 months food rations, that is October, November, December, to 1,131 households across the country, known as Lean Season Response. 371 of these households are victims of floods and windstorms, while the remaining households are identified as food insecure through the social registry. Each household is receiving a monthly package that includes 72 grams of rice, 14.4 grams of beans, 5 liters of oil, and 1.2 kilos of iodized salt. The intervention is done in URR, CRR, LRR, NBR, WCR, and KM.
Honorable Speaker, through you, can I request for Your Excellency, the Vice President, to provide this August Assembly with the list that you've just mentioned. Thank you.
Yes, Excellency, Mr. Vice President.
Honorable Speaker, it is noted.
Member for Latikunda Sabiji, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, if you observe very well, most of these families...
Honorable Vice President.
Okay, Honorable Vice President, thank you very much. If you could see, most of these families that are affected by the disaster year in, year out, is the same family, and most of them are placing or living on disaster corridors. Does your government have any plan to relocate them to areas free of disaster, or is going to be giving them disaster aids year in, year out?
Honorable Speaker, a lot of these families are actually living in areas illegally. And it's also always very difficult for government, even though they are there illegally, but government has plans to try to relocate them. But as you know, whenever you relocate, it also involves some compensations. And these are part of the challenges. But yes, there are plans, both short-term and long-term, to relocate some of these families.
Honorable members, on your behalf, I want to thank His Excellency, the Vice President of the Republic, standing in for His Excellency, the President, for those answers provided. Honorable members, I want to thank His Excellency, the Vice President, and in accordance with Order 14 sub 3 of the standing orders, I hereby vary the orders and now invite the Minister for Land, Regional Government.
Question for oral answers continues. Questions for oral answers, the Honorable Minister for Lands and Regional Government.
Questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Lands and Regional Government. Questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Lands and Regional Government by honorable members for oral reply. November 2025 questions. Question number 344 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Upper Salum, and the member for Jokadu will read on his behalf.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. I'm reading this question on behalf of the member for Upper Salum. Honorable Speaker, there seems to be an increase in the construction of warehouses in residential areas, especially in the Kanifing and Joshuang areas. Would the Honorable Minister for Lands, Government and Lands inform this August Assembly if his ministry has regulations in relation to building of warehouses in residential areas which has serious risk issues to the residents of these areas? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I have the pleasure to inform this August Assembly, and in particular the Honorable National Assembly Member for Upper Salum constituency, that there are indeed regulations and legal frameworks in place. The zone classification in the Physical Planning and Development Control Act of 1991 and its subsidiary regulations and approved plans determine land use of any particular zone. With reference to the available records, the Department of Physical Planning and Housing have not issued a development permit to any warehouse in the residential areas of Kanifing and Joshua. Notwithstanding, the department have taken note of the concern raised by the honorable member, and appropriate action will be instituted accordingly.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, are you aware that there are so many individuals who constructed their residence, and the top floor people will be there, and then the bottom floor they'll put warehouses there? And if so, what measures will you take to at least regularize that menace? Thank you.
As I said, the department have taken note of the issues raised by the honorable member, and they have been directed to take actions as soon as possible to regularize, if any, this matter.
Question number 345 of 2025 by the honorable member for Bundung Kakunda.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Land, Regional Government and Religious Affairs inform this August Assembly on the current status of the review of the Local Government Act and indicate the specific timeline for the national validation?
Honorable Speaker, I have the pleasure to inform the honorable member for Bundung Kakunda constituency that the review of the Local Government Act has been successfully completed, and a national validation is scheduled to take place after the presidential tour which tentatively is slated for 16 December 2025, subject to an affirmation by the United Nations Development Program. Once the scheduled date has been finalized, all stakeholders will be duly notified.
Question number.
No.
Supplementary.
Thank you. Okay.
Yes,
No, but he
thank you
said
very
he doesn't
much.
have a supplementary. Go ahead.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, yes, based on your response, already you fixed a date. So I just want to know whether you are considering looking at the outcome of the local government commission, whether there is a way to see how best you can consider some of the recommendations before you do the national validation, so that we can have a very good local government.
Recommendation of what?
I have heard you, and be rest assured that thousands of Gambians want the same thing to happen. And this government is interested, whatever becomes the wishes of the people, we will take it into consideration.
Yes. I don't want us to, honorable members, please don't talk about the commission on this. The commission is ongoing. You cannot tie it together. No. Member, before you bid down, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, why does the president to affect the review of the act that you are talking about?
Because some of the stakeholders are on this talk, and we want everybody to be present.
Member for Serekunda.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, can the Honorable Minister inform this August Assembly whether all stakeholders, including local council, civil society organizations, have been adequately consulted during the review?
I can confirm to you 100%, all consulted.
Question number 346 of 2025 by the honorable member for Sanementreng.
Once again, Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. Could the Honorable Minister for Lands, Regional Government and Religious Affairs explain to this August Assembly why the Salaji land demolition took place, leaving the women and children homeless, and whether the ministry had any plan for compensation? Thank you.
Honorable Speaker, I have the pleasure to inform this August Assembly, and in particular the Honorable Member of National Assembly member for Sani Mentereng constituency, that the Salaji layout, like other layouts such as Fajara, Kotune, Masu, etc., were all allocated to eligible Gambians for residential purposes. The Salaji proper and Salaji extension layout were initiated by government through the Ministry of Land, Religious Affairs, Local Government and Religious Affairs in 2003 and 2007 respectively. Both the Salaji proper and Salaji extension layouts followed due process by first obtaining prior approval from the West Coast Region Planning Authority and finally Cabinet. It is important to state that these layouts have an approved design and designated social and public spaces for community use. Unfortunately, these designated spaces meant for public good were encouraged upon. As a result, the Department of Physical Planning and Housing served emergency stop notices, to which were subsequently followed by demolition notices. In the exercise or execution of its mandate, therefore, the department carried out the said demolitions at the Salaji layout. Legal framework for the benefit of the member and other members. Development permit. A person shall not carry out any development on any land subject to provision of this act unless that person has been issued with a development permit or in respect of the land by the planning authority of the area in which the land is situated. Section 38 of the same act states, offenses and penalties. A person who contravenes or fails to comply with A, the provisions of this act, or any regulation made under this act, or a development permit, or to obtain such permit in an area in respect of which there exists a plan, be a plan, commits an offense, and is, in addition to having the development removed, liable to a fine not exceeding $2,000 or to a term of imprisonment not exceeding 1 year or both fine and imprisonment.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister, for responding. But Honorable Minister, there is an office responsible for issuing the development permit, which is the Lands Office. And having heard from the victims that they were issued a development permit and which grant them to move on with their building, their structures. Honorable Minister, do you have any method of investigating who issued those permits to these victims whose houses were demolished? Thank you.
First of all, Mr. Speaker, I wish to inform the honorable member for San and Mentoring a development permit is not ownership. It is not title of ownership. It's one process leading to the entire process of building or constructing a house. Therefore, obtaining the development permit does not stop this government from moving people who have occupied public places that we have meant for public good. However, we have taken some measures against certain staff and some movement of staff, and the government is doing what it takes to make sure we regularize the abnormalities in that area.
Thank you once again, Honorable Minister, for that response. But Honorable Minister, can you tell this August Assembly, now that those victims were issued development permits, yes, it is not an ownership. Issuing that development permit does not show the ownership of that particular place. But then these victims were issued development permits to build their houses and which were demolished. It means they were illegally given the development permit by your own staff. What will you do for these victims to be housed? Thank you.
Madam Speaker, in as much as this government is interested in housing citizens throughout this country, I would assure you that I will not contemplate even compensating them one dime, because for few reasons. They did not own the land where they built the structures, and they did not obtain these development permits through due process.
Member for Fonye Bintan Karana, you have the floor.
Thank you.
Member for Kiang West, you have the floor.
Honorable Minister, can you confirm if those victims the question is talking about in Salaji were issued notice to vacate those particular lands, and what was the notice period for them to do that?
Remember, I want to assure you the due process was followed. Repeated notices were issued, and they deliberately refused to adhere to those notices. And government must act. Law must be reinforced.
Member for Baka, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, at the tail end of the main question, when the demolition took place, leaving women and children homeless, whether the ministry had any plan of giving out any compensation, whether they were occupying the land illegally or legally. Is your ministry in a position to give any compensation?
We will not, as far as I'm a minister, we will not compensate one dime, not even 1 meter of land to them.
In fact, it was answered already. The member for Latikunda Sabiji, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. I pay attention to your submission. But when notice stop work, notice to demolish, and lack of development permit given to those victims. But as Mayor as Alcalo transfer, input ownership on those victims, do you find out whether some of them even have Alcalo transfer before demolition?
I want to assure you that these lands are part of state land demarcated layout meant for public use, public goods, and occupied by individual government acted in order.
Member for Serekunda, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you very much, Honorable Minister. We have to acknowledge that there is a problem here. Most of those people whose houses have been demolished, they acquired this land from individuals. So after the demolition, did you investigate how they acquired this land and hold those people to account?
That is not my business. It's the business of those who bought it and from who they bought it from.
Honorable members, on your behalf, I want to thank the Honorable Minister for Local Government, Lands and Religious Affairs, and thank him very much for those answers provided. Honorable Minister, you may go.
Speaker, I have something for the Honorable Minister, and it's a side call.
Now, Clerk, let's proceed. Honorable
No,
Minister.
Speaker, yes.
Clerk,
No, Speaker.
Clerk, let's proceed. Transport.
Questions for oral answers continues. The Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports.
Honorable Minister for Youth and Sport, please take the podium. Question for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports for oral answers by honorable members. Question number 338 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Latrikunda Sabiji.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, could you explain, could Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports explain to this August Assembly the reasons for the final rejection of the stadium project by FIFA and its implications on our football?
Honorable Speaker, may I inform this August Assembly that there is nothing like FIFA rejecting the stadium. The Independent Stadium was inspected by CAF using their own stadium regulation and deemed not fit to host Category A matches. According to CAF assessment report, every aspect of the stadium was in line with their standard except for the pitch. The lack of approval is therefore on the basis of the pitch not being properly leveled and the state of the grass at the time of inspection. This was due to the stadium not having the proper equipment nor the qualified and trained personnel to maintain such kind of new pitches. Also, while not a major requirement, CAF requires Gambia to add more CCTV cameras in and around the stadium, construct a disability platform and staircases to create access from the pavilion to the playing field, and construct the connecting roads around the stadium.
Thank you very much, Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, what I cannot understand, every contract, its execution, the contractor is given specification to go by that specification, and that forms part of the contract. And CAF has been coming regularly to tell the contractor and the ministry, do A, B, and C. So what's the problem? We want to understand why the contractor and the consultant, for that matter, did not go by that specific specifications until, I think this is the third time that the stadium is rejected by CAF. What happened to the specifications?
Well, Speaker, the CAF inspection actually was twice only, and contrary to public perception that the first inspection was a rejection, it was not. The first inspection was at the invitation of the ministry in collaboration with the Football Federation for CAF to come and look at what we intended to do and advise. And that was the first inspection. And when they looked at what we were doing or what intended to do, they advised that quite a number of the work that was programmed for phase 2 should be brought onto phase 1 so that we can be able to get approval. And that was done. The second approval, the second inspection, which is the proper inspection, was the pitch had an issue with the grass being infected, and secondly, us not having the right equipment. Now, CAF wouldn't tell you, you have to buy this equipment. It is up to you to know that if you have this kind of pitch, you need this kind of equipment to maintain it, and you need this kind of personnel to be able to maintain the stadium. At the time, we didn't have the idea and the knowledge, including that of the Ministry of Works. Neither did we have the personnel to know that what used to be in the past cannot continue, and that is the lesson that we learned from that inspection. So the first one was really not a rejection, it was a recommendation on what we need to do, and that was the reason why you're here. The second is the proper inspection.
Now, tell us the current status of the Independence Project, the current status, as of today, Wednesday.
The work is ongoing because, like I said, we had to bring some of the things that were programmed for later to do it now, and that include the procuring of the right equipment, which has already been procured. And of last Wednesday, I was told that the container was loaded in France, and it's supposed to be here in a month's time. The CCTV cameras have been increased from 6 to 12, and the disability platform has already been constructed, as well as the staircase. Staircases, we were to put about, I think, 8 or 12 staircases, and those ones are already been put in place. So what we're waiting for now is for the machines to come, and the stadium, the pitch will be properly maintained, and the roads are already constructed. If you go to the stadium now, you will see the roads are constructed, including the drainage system, and hopefully, in a couple of months, work will be completed.
Member for Fonya Councillor, you have the floor.
Yes, thank you. Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport. The member asked about the stadium project. I also want to be guided. This project, does it only talk about the stadium and the ground football field itself and its general view, or the stadium project includes issues of the staffs and its upkeep?
No, the project really does not include staffing and maintenance of stadium or the upkeep. What was originally conceptualized was to do a complete renovation of the stadium, and the Ministry of Works, Transport Infrastructure that did the assessment put it in 3 phases, phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. Now, the technical advice we got was that if we were able to do phase 1, we will be able to get CAF approval while government looks for money to do phase 2 and 3. And unfortunately, that's where the problem was, because when CAF came, they said phase 1 alone was not enough. We need to do phase 2. And that's how the additional cost came about, and that's what we are doing. In terms of personnel, no, there was nothing like training of personnel. Neither was there a costing to buy the equipment that are needed or their maintenance. And like I said, stadiums are not, we are not familiar with these issues, and we are now working on them.
Member for Kiang West, you have the floor.
Honorable Minister, I want to believe that the forced project timeline for the completion of the stadium project has elapsed. And after the extension, was there any financial implications? And if there were, how much does it cost the ministry after, when the ministry could not meet, or when the contract could not meet those standards? What were the financial implications? And are you continuing with the same contractor?
Yes, we are continuing with the same contractors. There were 2 contractors on site, but now we are working with one of the contractors, and the contract was amended to include the new areas. Now, the additional costing was about $83 million. That is what is needed to purchase those equipments and do the disability platform orders, excluding the roads, because the roads are exclusively been done by the Ministry of Works. So that's the process. But in terms of additional costs, yes, there is additional costs, like I said, because these things were not initially budgeted for. They were all programmed for later time based on availability of resources, but we had to bring them from phase 2 to put them as part of the cost. And that's essentially whatever the case was, Gambia would have spent money either way. It is either spend it now or you spend later. We wanted to spend later and we are told that you have to do it now. That is the simple way to explain that.
The member for Brikaman South, you have the floor.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, if you look at the tail end of the question, it's talking about the implication aspect of it. Other than financial implication, do we have other implication, more especially when it comes to our home marriages that are taken into other countries? What type of implication do we encounter as a country?
Honorable Speaker, the inability to play at home, I guess, is the biggest implication. And, of course, when you don't play at home, you lose the home support. And sometimes you're losing the economy that revolves around football, because when you play here, your teams are hosted in a hotel, the guest team is hosted in a hotel, there is some other activity that happens at the stadium, and that's what we are losing at the moment.
The member for Banjul North, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, listening to your response, according to the additional fund, I just want to know whether you are in possession of this fund, and if not, what mechanism do you put in place to get access to this fund?
Well, maybe yes or no. We got the first part of it, which is the advance payment. We have not gotten the second part of the payment. And like I said, the container is loaded in France and waiting for payment to depart or something. And that is where we are now, still waiting.
Question number 339 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Janjambur. You authorize the member for Fonya Kansara to read on his behalf.
All right, thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister of Youth and Sport inform this August Assembly when will the ministry table the Youth and Sport bill for this Assembly in quest to address the long-standing challenges facing two sectors? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, the Youth and Sport Bill have been completed a long while ago. However, due to the backlog of bills and other matters at the Ministry of Justice, the bill spent a reasonably long period under review at the Ministry of Justice, as it was prepared by a private consultant. However, it has been submitted to the ministry a few months ago, and ministry eventually submitted it to Cabinet. Cabinet has already approved the sports bill, pending the scheduling of the youth bill, and our anticipation is that it will come to the National Assembly in your first sitting of 2026.
Question number 340.
Do you wait and listen, or you want the rule? You have to ask the member concerned whether do I have a supplementary, or you want to take ownership of the parliament?
No, because
no, I'm asking. If it is so, I'll leave it as that.
No, don't ask that. You don't have to ask that question. If you have supplementary question, just tell me you have.
No. I also want to ask you.
No, don't ask that question.
I am going by the procedures. So if you want to take ownership of the parliament, I leave it as that.
Yes, please.
Okay. No problem. I leave it at that. Thank you.
Thank you. Question number 340 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Banjul Central.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
You authorize the member for Banjul North.
Yes. On behalf of the member for Banjul Central, but Honorable Speaker, are we together? Looking at this question is a little bit similar with the question that was asked by the member for Latin Kunda. Because during the supplementary question, he even asked about the status of the renovation in the stadium. But notwithstanding, for the records, because I was assigned by the member for Banjul Central. I will just go ahead. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Youth and Sports clarify to this August Assembly the current status of the Independence Stadium renovation project and explain the causes of the continued delays in its completion, given the repeated public assurance and funding commitments made toward its timely delivery?
Yes, honorable member, you are right, and question fully asked and answered shall not be asked in the same question. So this question has been fully answered. Honorable members, on your behalf, I want to thank the Minister for Youth and Sport for those answers provided. Honorable Minister, you may go now. Thank you very much for that. Basic and secondary education. Clerk, you may proceed.
Thank you. Questions for oral answers. The Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education.
Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education, please proceed to the podium. Honorable members, questions for which due notices were given to the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education for oral reply by the Honorable members. Question number 244 of 2025, that's the September question. Oh, I understand there was an error, so the September question should be skipped. They are not part of it. They were addressed already. We should go to the November questions. November questions. Question number 316 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Jara West.
Why do you skip the Honorable Speaker?
They were wrongly placed there.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education explain to this August Assembly why the proposed lower basic school for the community of Sara Sedi and its surrounding communities, that is Kohel Village and Darussalam Village, didn't start this September, considering the fact that the ministry told them they were going to start this year, September. Thank you.
Thank you. Honorable Speaker, I would like to appreciate the question from the Honorable Member for Jara West and to inform this August Assembly that the request to have a school in Sari Sedi is also a concern of the ministry, and it is on the table for consideration. I think this is the second time this matter is being raised. The first time it was raised, we had consulted with our partners that support the sector in the areas of school infrastructure, and it is considered to be built, but the matter is still under consideration. The ministry at this moment in 2025 is not able to, on its own, construct a school in Sari Sedi. But just to confirm to this August Assembly that MRC Holland Foundation has already agreed to erect the school structure for Sari Sedi. And we have asked the regional director at Region 4 to assess the feasibility of this, because we want to know the viability of a school in Sari Sedi, and this task is ongoing. We are hoping that very soon, as we continue to work with our partners, consideration will be given and the school infrastructure will very soon commence. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for that answer. Honorable Minister, these are 3 villages, and then all of these 3 villages, they are very far to access a school. The last time when your team visited Sarasedi, they identified a place. They have a place where they can start before the construction will be done. And then it was agreed with your team. Now these people are asking why that doesn't start until now. Are we hoping to see maybe this January for them to start the school?
Honorable members, he have answered it fully. He said it's under consideration and that they have to go there and do the assessment. Exactly. He said the MRC has agreed to do the construction, but they have to do those feasibility studies and these things. Yes. Minister, yes.
You see, I just want to say that MRC Holland Foundation has been doing a lot for us, and we have a lot of areas that we have identified for schools to be erected. So it's daunting, it's overwhelming, and what I can say is that it is still on the table for consideration. And now that we have seen the need as a sector to perhaps allocate more resources in the areas of development, maybe in 2026, we will really be able to increase the speed at which we construct schools, so that communities really whose children need to travel very far away distances, we are able to minimize some of those challenges that those communities face. But I want to say,
please go ahead, Minister. Please go ahead, Minister.
Okay. Yes, so just want to be assured that Sarasedi is on the table. And very soon, I can't give you the exact time because it's not under my control. We're working with partners and hopefully we'll get it out of the way very soon.
Member for Sami.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me the floor. Honorable Minister, we know that MRC Holland Foundation is doing a lot in terms of constructing schools, but education is a basic need for everyone. Would it be possible for the community to make a taste of this so as to quickly open this school for them?
Yes, it's up to the community, but as a sector,
she's explaining, you are talking. That's why she's have to stop.
Yes, I wish the community would have erected a school on their own. This would have complemented efforts of government. But there are a few things that we always want to ensure that are in place to ensure that whatever facility is erected is fitting, is suitable for teaching and learning, and that the basic facilities of water, toilet, and a conducive environment are in place. So if your community is able to provide this on their own, we are happy as a sector to consider.
Question number 317 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Same.
Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education inform this August Assembly when is the ministry going to introduce civic education in the lower basic schools?
Honorable Speaker, I would like to thank the Honorable Member for Same constituency for the question. I am pleased to inform Honorable Sise that the new civic education teaching and learning materials are being piloted in schools this academic year, that's 2025, and it will run through 2026. And if the resources are available to facilitate the printing and training of teachers, the materials will be rolled out to all public schools across the country in 2026 and 27 academic year.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. and Honorable Minister, is it going to be a pilot or is going to be? Yeah?
Honorable, that's what she said.
Okay, all right.
You are not listening.
Thank you very much.
Member for law.
Thank you very much. Honorable Minister, no, I have one more. Honorable Minister, this civic education, are you going to start from grade 1 up to grade 6 or?
What?
Okay, LBS is actually from 1 to 6.
Member for Lower Badebo, have the floor.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Minister, is the pilot being done in selected schools or across all the schools? Thank you.
In selected schools.
Honorable members, please, you have to maintain decorum and listen. You see, Honorable member for Lower Badebo, even now you are not even listening because the parliamentary is engaging you to a bantaba. In her original, in her answer to this thing, she answered your question. Because you are on a bantaba, 4 of you. Question number 318 of 20.
Honorable Speaker, you saw this. You just want to leave it. Please don't do that.
No, the member for Kiang West, do you want me to give you the floor or not? Because if you accuse me that I saw it and you knew very well, you just raise your tag. Now I'm going to the next question. You want me to give you floor or not? Kiang West, you have the floor.
Yes. Honorable Minister, rolling out civic education from the primary school required a teacher training, and you want to roll out in this academic year coming. How prepared is the training of the facilitators, the teachers, as far as this program is concerned?
In my answer, I said we have begun the pilot, and the pilot does not only involve the teaching of the civic education, it also went along with training of teachers. So if pilot finishes and learning from lessons of the pilot, of course, it will also include an aspect of teacher training so that they are prepared to deliver the services.
You know, that's why I want that area, you people to be listening. All of you are part of it. Question number 318 of 2025 by the Honorable Member for Bakau.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, could the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education tell this August Assembly what targeted interventions are being implemented by the Ministry to improve learning outcomes and exams readiness among students, especially in the underperforming schools and regions, and how is the ministry addressing teacher quality, availability of learning materials, classroom infrastructure, and other systematic challenges that impact student performance?
Honorable Speaker, I want to thank the Honorable Member for Bakau for a very long question. Too many points to address. Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Basic and Secondary Education has embarked on some reforms to address the challenges of the learners' outcome, low learner outcomes. And these are some of the reforms that we have embarked upon to ensure that learner outcomes are improved. One is the program on the MAIS. We call it the mainstreaming of effective intervention strategies in schools. Learning from other contexts and jurisdictions on how foundational learnings have been addressed and improved. We have decided to partner with
There's a point of order from the member for Opanyomi.
Honorable Speaker, points of order 38, admissibility of question. One I. A question of excessive length may not be asked. Despite it is a parent question. The honorable member, the question he asked with a lot of points, to be clarified by the minister, is so excessive. So the question should not be, in fact, be admitted ab initio. You know that? Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. But it has been admitted. Please, Honorable Minister, provide an answer.
Yes. Yes, okay. So I was responding to that question and began by saying that we have embarked on a series of reforms to address learner outcomes, and this includes the MAISE program, that is mainstreaming effective intervention in schools, followed by a structured pedagogy initiative with EI, and of course, our new partner is Learning Mastermind, that is coming from Ghana, that has implemented a similar project to enhance learner outcomes at the foundation level. So responding to your point on how the ministry is doing to improve learner outcomes, these are some of the areas and some of the reforms that we have embarked upon to ensure that learner outcomes are improved. And of course, this also includes a lot of teacher training activities. And just to inform you that the contract that we have with Learning Mastermind also includes an aspect of teacher professional training, not only teacher professional training, but even MOPSI administrators. So this initiative will go a long way in capacitizing staffs of MOPSI, including teachers, in implementing the reforms that we have started. Moving on, I also want to say that we are working with WIEC, that's the West Africa Examination Council, in strengthening the entry levels of teachers in the sector. And that led to the introduction of the competency assessment test, just to ensure that teachers coming to the sector are prepared enough to deliver the teaching services. This will be followed by continuous professional development of the teachers in those areas that they have gaps, just to ensure that teaching and learning is done more appropriately in the schools. On the issue of availability of learning materials, classroom infrastructure, and other challenges, we will continue to engage with our key stakeholder, that's the Ministry of Finance and Economic Affairs, with support from this August Assembly for an increase in resource allocation to MOPSI, so that we can work with our partners such as MRC Holland, UNICEF, the World Bank, and of course we know the Global Partnership for Education has also supported MOPSI a lot in the areas of foundational education, just to ensure that we have all the resources that we require to address the challenges that you have raised and others. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The reforms that you have embarked on when we talk of teacher quality, as a ministry, will it not be necessary to introduce a teacher service commission?
Okay, maybe not on this fora, but that initiative has begun at the sector, and we have actually drafted a regulation that's going to specify the operations of what we call the Professional Standard Board for Teachers, which has a mandate by law to establish a teacher service commission. This will really be a game changer, hopefully very soon. So that process has begun, and we are reviewing that document with the Ministry of Justice, and very soon it will be finalized, and it will support that work of having a service commission for teachers.
Thank you. No further questions.
Member for Kiang West, you have the floor.
Honorable Minister, when it comes to underperforming schools, as mentioned in the parent question, is the ministry considering rewarding performance for both schools, teachers, schools infrastructures, for those schools, public schools that are performing, in order to motivate other teachers as well, as it happens in other sectors like the Ministry of Health to reward performance in terms of health service delivery? Is the ministry considering doing the same thing for education sector in terms of schools and even the teachers as well?
We had a different plan on that. Actually, even before this question was raised, when I came in, it was among the matters that I requested from our planning unit to submit as far as data is concerned. That is the data on the performances of schools. And of course, that will also include schools that are underperforming. And what we plan as a sector is to engage the school authorities and to show them the work that they're doing, and vis-a-vis the good performance, and try to create some form of mentorships between the good performing school and the poor performing school to see how they can be mentored. But of course, we may want to consider your opinion, your point on this matter, but it's something that really we have been working on, whether to reward or not to reward. It's a matter that we can put on the table, but we are interested in every school in this country to be seen to be performing well.
Honorable members, I want to thank the Honorable Minister for Basic and Secondary Education for those answers provided to this August Assembly. On your behalf, I want to ask her that she can leave. Be resolved that this August Assembly do stand adjourned until Thursday, 27 November 2025 at 10 a.m. Those in favor, please say aye. Those not in favor, please say no. The ayes have it. This Assembly stand adjourned. Please, honorable members, where are you going? This Assembly now stand adjourned until Thursday, 27 November 2025 at 10 a.m.